Here's another video of scrambles. I will never, I will never know the name, whatever this is. One day, I'll get it just as much as I get my outro. The outro will always be here. Um, so I've recently watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV series. Actually, the funny thing is, when was the I think when I first started Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is when it was just the first two videos. It was the creative and, um, and time. I remember when those were coming out. I don't know if I think time was the first one I saw. And then I checked to see if there was any more, and then creative popped up. I was like, oh, okay, there's more, and there's like a little series. This is two. Um, so, and I completely forgot about the whole TV series thing. I was like, oh yeah, weren't they gonna make a show? And I completely forgot about the whole the wakey wakey uh pilot thing. Which I hope one day we will at least get I don't know, maybe we'll get uh if we could ever get, I would love to get the TV series on some kind of physical copy. And maybe if they're super lucky, they'll be able to put in the pilot in one of those things if we get a chance. Um, I mean, it could be just that Wakey Wakey's just gone to the end of time. Like considering how much the show itself is just all I was just shriveled up. Um. So anyway, when it comes to the show, um, I like. I think at least we're getting into theory-ish territory right now, in the sense of how I feel about the direction they're going with this. Is that they make it very clear in the show that this is definitely well actually is it clear? I feel silly saying that, but personally for me I think uh, it is in like it is a continuation of the online series. In fact, I think even the creators themselves, I don't think they were gonna do that at first, but then they're like, nah, everybody's really invested in the story of the original series, so we don't want to completely start over, but at the same time, everything's gonna be different. Uh, so I think it's definitely a continuation, considering that they make it very clear in the calendar that it's the 20th and not the 19th anymore. So, but I do feel like the story has changed. Like I always liked the red guy, the at least when it comes to the online series. I guess we could call that season 0. Season 0, the online series, I always thought of it as the red guy character was the main character of that series, and I do like the theory of the whole concept of the show was about the existential dread of growing up, and that was supposed to be the red guy's perspective, um, and the other characters are just either complete imaginary friends or possibly memories of some kind of past TV show they might have watched, or maybe they're like a collaboration of different things he grew up with that he kind of made into these singular beings.
And I liked how, if you look at it that way, June 19th, and the whole fact that, and if you look at the year thing with the whole Father's Day concept with, when you see the year, um, and people were talking about how, June 19th was part of like the creators' other concepts of other things that they've made, usually involving a birthday. So like possibly June 19th is just like this frozen in time state that the red guy is in mentally, on not wanting to grow up, and the fact that you have I like, and of course the obvious one would be like the teachers, in the sense of like they're trying to teach concepts that actually have been taught in like children's shows, but if you really think about it as an adult, when you try to think about these concepts and ideas, they're actually a lot more complicated than your childhood shows would lead you to believe when they were trying to teach you these concepts. Um, and so, like, I like the idea of thinking that if this is the red guy's mind, trying to uh, rationalize the idea of wanting not to grow up, but he has no choice but to have an adult mind about it. So, like, having these teachers like trying to teach him simply how these concepts work, and then his adult brain kicks in and just starts really messing with the lesson. At least that's how I always thought of it. Like, I always thought of it as the reason why the teachers sound like they don't know what the hell they're doing, and the lesson would go off the rails, would be because of Red Guy's state of mind. Because as much as he would like to escape back to being a child, his adult brain overthinks of these concepts, and then it just ends up becoming very distorted. Like, just all like, oh, let's make it simple, but it's not simple. Like, the brain is fighting the ideas. It's like, you know better. You know better. It's not that easy. And so I always thought that, and with Red Guy pulling the plug, that was kind of like his way of like finally accepting it. And then of course, then it's the June 20th. But then we have like the show. So I do wonder, um, like I wonder if the Red Guy, like whoever the adult was for the Red Guy, is gone, and the Red Guy that we have is like, I don't want to say somebody else, but it could be like we could be. I can't believe I'm using this as an example. We could be dealing with like a like a Kingdom Hearts Heartless situation, where like the person that occupied like the character, the idea, is no longer there, and then what's left of it is like Red Guy the character, and not Red Guy the person trapped in this hell mindscape. Um, and he's like now like a permanent, like this Red Guy is permanently like a character. I don't know if any of this is making any sense to you, me trying to explain my thought process of this. I've been watching a lot of theory videos. In fact, I'm probably going to be suggesting a few. Like, there was one that really, like, I mean, I always kind of thought of the adult child, like the adult not wanting to grow up concept, and then like it's one of those things where I saw somebody make a similar video with the concept and with a lot more fine-tuned details of it. So I was like, okay, so like I'm not crazy of thinking this, because I mean I like the whole like secretly like a weird show like conspiracy thing, which there might be a little bit of that. There's still a possibility there might be a little bit of that, but I always like the just the sim like with the I think uh like complicated stories with a simple plot fit better, in the sense of, well, like there's all these like little complicated details surrounding an actually pretty simple like plot, and I think that's why I always like the like it's just someone struggling with uh with the idea of growing up, and and having to deal with that mentally. But I think the TV show might be pivoting towards possibly just these characters stuck in this cycle. And I do like the crazy theories I've been coming up with the lady character. I think everybody's calling her Lucy. Um, with the lady character at the end of the series. Um, having her like being main plot woman. Um, and with the whole like David situation. Which if that is like the direction that they're going with it, like definitely whatever the red guy story is over, and now yellow guy is main character now finally. Though I am super curious if they keep going this direction. I wonder if they're gonna do like red guy main character in season 0, yellow guy main character in season 1. I don't know how they would do Duck as main character and dude, if main character becomes main character. If Duck becomes main character in season 2, uh I think we're going to go in a deeper rabbit hole trip than we have been in the last two, because like he's supposed to always constantly symbolize the concept of death. And I think that's because he's, you know, everybody has like this thing so like, well, I think yellow guy is supposed to be like representative like a child, or at least a mindset of a child. Questionable on his age. Um at least the mindset of a child. He's like designed to be a child in the sense of like character wise, but I don't know if he actually is. I do find it funny how they kind of joke about the idea of he might be like a 35-year-old man with a brain of an infant. Um and and then you have a red guy that's supposed to like basically symbolize adult. Uh Most likely young adult, if I had to guess, between like 19 to 25, kind of age range. And then Duck definitely, he just carries so much boomer vibes. So many boomer vibes. Um, he's definitely supposed to be like elderly, and I think that's why he carries a lot of concepts of death around his character a lot. Because he's supposed to be, the the older character in life, and so and as much as you as much as weird and zany Duck is, just like death hangs on him like constantly. Um, Even more so than the other characters do. Um, which is kind of funny how like now in the new series like he's technically dead, and apparently it's starting to imply that he keeps getting resurrected a lot because of the fact that with the I did notice when Lucy was pulling out those drawers that there's only one drawer of Duck and there's no drawers of the other two, um which is kind of funny because it just kind of implies that like Duck's gonna die a lot. Duck dies a lot. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the series so far. um I might do more if anybody has any questions of how I feel about certain theories or possibilities or something like that. Any excuse for me to draw another uh, picture of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Now we're up to the comment section of the video. And the first comment I see in the comment section of the last video was, "This Sonic drawing is amazing. Thank you very much. Words. Thank you very much. Mythic Moose. I could say words today." And of course, we have a few from Emily here. The first comment from her is, "I feel like the first one is better in a rewatchable sense, but 2 is better as a fan rewatch. If I'm feeling like watching any movie at all when I can watch Sonic 1 and be fine." I mean, yeah, like I think that's why I think the first Sonic movie is technically better. It has a lot more rewatchable ability in comparison. Um and I think because it's such a good introduction to Sonic that almost anybody could get into it, uh, but then again, you can almost argue with almost any sequel to almost anything is it's especially later on sequels, like say like your like sequel 6, and like you're in movie 6 and you're like and you're asking questions and you're like you couldn't even go back a few more videos and before you asked me this question. Um, so yeah, like I feel like that's probably why, and it's one of those things that doesn't feel very fair in that comparison. So that's why I think they're both equally good. But if I had to choose, it would probably be the first one. Is like I think that's just how it is when it comes to sequel movies. Is that the first one will always be better only in that sense of people getting into something. You, it's always easier to get your friends to watch Sonic 1 than Sonic 2, you know? And there's another one from Emily. Timestamp. Why is Rossetti there? Rossetti? Is that how you say its name? Is that how you say it? Oh, right. Because not the entire stream. Like, I didn't draw this picture in one stream, but I was in the middle of drawing the picture in one stream. And there was a point, I forget, we were talking about Animal Crossing, and I brought up Rossetti at one point during the stream, and I wanted to be sure that's what his name was. I showed everybody the pictures, like, this is Rossetti, right? This little scary thing that scared me half to death as a child. Um, yeah, one of my live arts, like one of my live art streams, we were talking about Animal Crossing. Right, we were talking about Animal Crossing because I was trying to explain why hedgehogs, usually when people design like hedgehog characters, why they have a very similar uh, why they do that weird eye thing. Like Sonic's is the weirdest version of it, but there's a reason why they have like a bunch of white with this kind of unibrow kind of connection with the colors. And then let's see. And the last one is Uh, they probably don't know about this obvious secret. I am a furry. If you like Sonic, you're furry. It's just how it is. You know, I wish it was that simple. But in my case, I don't classify myself as that only because I feel like I don't know. It's like when people call me a gamer, I'm just all like, you can't call me that because if you saw my Steam profile, you'd be embarrassed and take that gamer card immediately away from me. So that's why I throw it back at you. Don't accuse me of this when you don't know my shit. But yeah, it's one of those things like, nah, can't classify me that. But I will admit that I am definitely a Sonic fan. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And I think that was all the comments. Yes. So, back to making videos. Hopefully I can keep a slightly more consistent schedule than last year. And hope everybody is enjoying the new year so far. I know I am. And I guess that's it. I definitely need to rant a little bit longer too. I feel like I am strongly under my rant quota, so I will get back to that. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Good morning and good night.